Or for example, there are researchers which find out that are the loyal customers and non-loyal customers using same part of their brain, same neural connections when they're making decisions toward the product. So we know so much more about what that kind of piece of decision-making machine doing inside our brain right now. But of course, there's a huge way to go. And taking into account that huge number of people sitting over here are influencers, and you are developing content, and we are all developing content, brands, influencers, it's all about content right now. I decided to take a tiny part of this neuromarketing research and to talk about how storytelling is affecting our brains, right, unconsciously again, and how that effect can be used to drive certain behavior, right? I squeeze, the top outcomes of the research, and I try to put them in a fun way to bring them here. Now, the story is that story being have been there always, right? The story being, we grew up listening to stories, we love stories, it's natural, it's biological, right? Stories enhance, stories motivate, stories challenge, stories teach, and there's so much going on when we listen to stories. Our imagination is heated up, our whole brain starts working, we transmit the information, and that was a primary way how we transmitted information for a pretty long period of time. Stories are powerful. Now, if stories are powerful, can anyone explain why on earth, in our marketing communications, in our ads, we use numbers, figures, statistics toward people, knowing that people are not going to buy them, knowing that people are not going to react them? Now, figures, the final conclusion, there were debates regarding that, but the final research put the full stop in that debate. And that full stop is that figures and numbers do not work. Stories work. Stories convince, stories sell, stories change people's attitude, right? Now, as I already told, stories have been there for ages. At some point, we learned to talk. And that's how we were transmitting the information from generation to generation on how to survive, how to, stay safe. At some point, we started, transmitting the information through those cave paintings. And that is how we made stories live through generation from generation. And then we invented, written language, oral language, and all these messages, all these communication channels were there to make those stories alive. And in fact, if we compare, the basic fairy tales, classical pieces of literature, there's a lot of commonalities. So basically speaking, maybe they're sourcing from one, source. I'm not sure about that. Now, why stories work? Right? I keep saying that the only way, and I'll return to that point throughout the presentation, is that the only way to be visible right now is to create stories. There are two ways how stories are affecting our brain. Number one is that if we talk about figures, numbers, what we all like, 9 out of 10 customers are happy, with our product. I don't know, according to the sales group, to this percentage. If we talk about this manner, if we talk about just by figures and numbers, there are only 2 parts of the brain activated. I'm not going to go into anatomic details of what this picture is, but put it very, very simple. These 2 parts of the brain are just about encoding and decoding the language, signal. Basically speaking, we use it just to understand what was just said and to keep it in our mind, right? Nothing else is going to happen. Just 2 parts, just for encoding and decoding the language message that we just received. But when we tell stories, something different is going to happen. 8 pieces, 8 parts of our brain are activated. And those 8 parts are responsible for sense, for sounds, for language, for touch, for movement, right? All our brain is heated up when we listen to stories. We can even practice it. I know we're all out of lunch. If I delivered that presentation early, it could have made more sense, but still, if I tell you right now, imagine that I am serving a fresh Americana with some cinnamon rolls fresh out of the oven. Can we feel the taste? There is no coffee, no cinnamon, but we feel the taste, right? I can go further, by the way, and that further will be that imagine that we are not over here, we are somewhere in the forest, It's, end of October. The autumn leaves are on the ground. We are passing by slowly, breathing in the weather. And then there is some old tree just about to fall down. And while we pass by, the tree falls down. Now, everyone has that sound in our brain, right? We feel that sound. We do not hear it, but somehow our brain, activate that sound. That is exactly how stories are working, how they are activating greater part of our brain. That's number one. But there's even something more that stories are doing. And that second is that they are changing the biochemical composition of the blood. And you know what? Our brain can be easily hacked by the hormones that we infuse. And the best proof of that is when we fall in love, right? The hormones that are, associated with falling in love, with happiness, hijack our brain, and we lose our ability to critical thinking and rational decision-making process for a pretty long period of time, right? Unless our brain do not come back from that vacation. Well, that is happening due to the work of hormones that is in our blood. And that's not a fairy tale. There's a science standing behind that, and that is why I'm here to tell you what is the scientific research standing beyond that. 3 major hormones that I will be talking about, and we call usually them angel cocktails. We want them to be in blood of people who somehow interact our brain, with our brand and with our stories. Number 1 is dopamine. Now, when we look those, James Bond movies, waiting breathlessly what's gonna happen, imagining in our brain what can come, anticipating, focusing, that is where high dopamine level in our blood, right? And high dopamine level makes us more focused, it's making our memory working greater, and it makes us to be focused on the details, right? Second hormone from this angel cocktail, which means that we want them to be in the blood, is oxytocin, right? And oxytocin is a hormone which makes us human beings, right? So whenever we hear about the story of a kid being ill and we have never met that person, neither family, nor the baby, but we feel bad, right? We feel that person and we want to donate to help to a guy we have never heard about or met that person at all, right? So oxytocin, what oxytocin is doing, it's helping our brain to live the life of the other person, right? And that is a hormone which makes us social creatures, by the way. And high level of oxytocin brings to high empathy, high level of donation, right? Monetary, non-monetary donation. So there was a research which was conducted then when people were given the movie with a kid which is, ill with cancer and going to pass away in 6 months of time, etc., etc. And after that, right after the people were exposed to that movie, the oxytocin level was measured and it was pretty high. And the people were asked to, donate money to complete stranger, not even that guy, people were donating quite huge amount of money compared to the control group which was not exposed to that movie, right? So oxytocin. And then the third hormone, I couldn't find the same picture, but still it's endorphin. And whenever we laugh, we talk about high level of endorphins, right? And endorphins makes us relax. Endorphins makes us purchase quicker and in larger amounts, right? There was a research which found that higher level of endorphins in the blood are highly associated with greater trigger to purchase, right? That's why it is very important to entertain people, right? Now, on one hand, we say that stories are important. Stories are changing biochemical composition of the blood. And on the other hand, we know how those hormones are affecting human behavior, right? What if we combine them both and come up with some solid marketing program based on that? It sounds, very pragmatic, but that's exactly what we can do. The issue is that the recent research conducted, the recent report which was published by Google, it's not, anything too funny. It says that 50% of all digital ads do not get any exposure, which means that we may pay for those ads, but no one's going to see them. And even greater, 80% of all ads, both online and offline, never get exposed and never get attention of the target audience they are supposed to get, right? The statistics, which is over here, it says approximately the same story. We are exposed to many ads, and it's very tough to pay attention to, all of them. We're going to be very selective. And in that case, that is where it becomes important to tell stories. Right now, the holy grail of marketing is emotions and attention. If I want to get attention, I should arouse emotions, right? Emotions is the only thing that sells. If I can't link those emotions, if I can't create certain emotions, I will get attention, although it's becoming tougher and tougher. And then it's very important to find out how we can relate something as, non-measurable as emotions to something as measurable as sales. Well, there are researches on that as well, right? Over here, it was the research conducted by American institution, Pennsylvania University. So what they were doing is that they were analyzing how people are reacting to different campaigns based whether they are emotional or rational or somehow combined, and what type amount of profit gains that company gets within that fiscal year. And the results were really surprising, but quite expectant. So if a company bases its ads and communication on emotional content, it's getting twice as much profit as if it's basing it just on rational figures, numbers, and statistics. A good food for thought, right? The only way to get people's attention is to provoke some sort of emotions. If I go further, there was another research conducted by Business Insider. What they did is that they just analyzed the articles that they were publishing throughout 1 year, and the articles which were going viral. What they wanted to find out is that based on what type of emotions were, involved in a particular article, to which extent that's going to be affecting whether it's going to go viral or not. And the research showed that 25% of articles which are arousing wonder, right, something surprising about there, are having 25 of them will go viral, and then 70% of entertaining, which make people laugh, people are going to share them, and then amusement, joy, anger, it will go all the way narrowing down, right? So depending on what type of emotion your piece of content is, uprising in people's mind, that's going to affect the level whether they're going to be sharing it or not. And then the last, article, not the last, but the last one I want to mention right now, it was conducted also for the same research, but for New York Times. So they analyzed some 7,000 New York Times articles and the number of times they were shared. And this article was found that most articles which were shared were driving positive emotions, surprise and love, right? So basically speaking, there is a linkage, right? There's a linkage between emotions and the action. This is subconscious. I'm not a person who's going to sit and say, okay, this article made me laugh, and that's why I'm going to share it. We are not rational. Sophia may be rational, but we are not rationals. People are emotional. People are, making emotional purchase decisions. And that's why it's so important to take them into account and to make them part of our stories. Now, if you ask me how to do that, frankly speaking, I'm not the person to say that, right? What I want to is to set your attention that there is something going on. You should be delivering stories. You should be touching people's emotions to be visible, right? Otherwise, you will not be visible. But I analyzed some researches which were, finding linkage between the structure of the story in the ad and to which extent that ad was successful, right? And the result was that, okay, most of the ads, and Super Bowl ads, they are 30-second, movies, right? All of them are emotional. All of them are story-based. Now, it found that, okay, if in a story we take these 4 points into account, most probably that story is gonna bring to that emotional and hormonal change in blood that we are anticipating. Of course, not all stories are bringing to the emotional changes in our subconscious mind and do not bring the changes in the purchase behavior. Now, what research found is that, okay, 4 components. First is there should be some triggering story, right? Something which will make people stop from doing what they're doing and have a glance on your piece of content, be it on screen, be it on ad, be it on whatever the channel is, right? There should be some trigger. And second, even more important, foster aspiration. And the research was found that when customers are seeing themselves, the story in the ad, the story in the pilot of the story is relating to them, right? If they find it autobiographic, this is selling, right? People say, oh, that's me, right? That guy on the TV, that guy on social media, that lady is so much like me, right? So that means that this brand is there for me, right? And at that point, piece of content, I may not necessarily sell my offer, the service, or the product that I'm selling. What I want to do is to create that emotional linkage. I am is what you need, right? And then when that person, when that lady somewhere in supermarket deciding which, a brand to choose, she will have only 3 seconds. And of course, she will not be, in her brain making all those calculations. She will be emotional. And her subconsciousness will drive her, pick this brand, right? She will not know why, but the reason is that because of our previous communication, we created that emotional linkage, right? We are there for you, right? And then 2 other components are driving empathy and harnessing emotion, right? So every single story, that's what we were taught in school, but it perfectly works for ads, should have, some intro, some trigger, then some culmination, and then some solution, right? Every single story should have logical ending, meaning that, okay, this is what's going to be the outcome. No worries. Everything's going to be fine, right? There's a solution for everything, and that's why we are there. So if those 4 components are there, and if we properly select the story that we are sharing, and that is basically speaking where the key for success somewhere lying nearby, right? And most of the brands, and particularly Starbucks is known for doing that, and Cole is known for doing that. What they are doing is a strategy known as story gathering. So what story gathering is, they would interview their customers, not for, finding out why you buy, our coffee and not competing coffee, what do you like in the taste of our coffee, what we can do better. They do not ask such question. What they ask you is that when you came to our coffee store earlier this morning, where are you going? What is your task right now? What's your goal? What's your problem? So they try to gather the stories from their customers. And when they gather those stories, they make some, generalized story out of the one that they could collect and put it in their communication. And in that case, their customers will find themselves in those stories, right? And that's where the autobiographic, linkage is going to be created. And of course, as marketer, A/B testing, right? None of the stories is going to be, touching from the very first rank. We should be testing different components of what story is and why we're there. So all in all, to conclude my speech, these are some of the examples. If we can, I guess if we can put that ad on, it's clickable link. It's Procter & Gamble, what P&G, they did it in every single time, every single year, they release something like this. They put an ad where they collect those personal stories. They do not promote what they are selling. They are promoting the stories of their customers, right? So if we cannot put it right now, if you just Google "Thank You Mom P&G," you're going to see a number of those ads. Same thing is done by Google. I guess we all see that Google year in review ads every single time. By the end of the year, they will reveal. And if you look those ads, if you compare Google review 2016, 2017, 2015, same story is going on. They are starting with bad searches. Every single year we have some wars, some terrorism acts, we have some clashes, tensions, etc., etc. They start with those searches, and then they turn to, positive. But at the same very year, there was something positive going on as well. So it's sort of collection of personal stories. So to conclude all this, research, it may be not buying, but the conclusion is that, I won't just paraphrase, all known principle, is that customers can forget everything about your brand. They can forget the brand logo, brand name, brand color, brand everything. But they will never forget how that particular brand made them feel, right? And that's very important to provoke correct emotions in the minds of people. Thank you so much for your attention. This is my email. I'm very welcome to your questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Çok sağ olun.
Thank you, Tugra Hanım. Now we are inviting to stage Mr. Alper Çelen from Joy. His topic is the history and future of the customer.
I am fascinated by the customer. I think in the next 15 minutes, I want to tell you from my perspective, what is the customer, what is the history, and what is the future. Before I do that though, I'd like to get to know you a bit better. Who is a student here? Can we have a show of hands? Okay, so we have a few. Who's an entrepreneur? Was a startup or a startup eco? Okay, yes, definitely Amin is one. Not that many, but okay, I'll shout, sure. And influencers. Okay. Employees of private or government. Okay, great. So now that you know me a bit, I know you a bit better. I'm going to take you down this journey. First, I want to tell you why am I so fascinated about the customer, right? Why? I mean, of all the things to worry about and be fascinated with, why is customer so important? And then I'm going to tell you about what I've learned. This is me, my life in logos. In the x-axis, you can see the years. I was born in the 70s, and here we are. Anyone have a guess what the y-axis is? Just shout it out. No guesses? Y-axis? Louder. The y-axis is the question mark. What do you think that is? Dollars? Yeah, probably not as exponential. Yes, there's some rise there, I hope, from the birth. Okay, duration, okay. It's actually white hair. Okay, it's white hair. Very good. So why the white hair, right? Early part of my career, I moved to the US. I worked in some amazing companies, right? I mean, those are some impressive logos. I'm like, why did I ever leave? I left McKinsey about 10 years ago. I was a consultant there. And I started all these businesses. I took a bunch of risk. People thought I was crazy. I think a lot of people still think I'm crazy. And that journey took me in front of the customer. All of those previous amazing logos brought customers to me, right? We didn't have to sell anything at McKinsey. At NASA, I mean, you know, you have one client, you do well if Congress is voting for, you know, dollars to spend on space, right? But all these startups that I started, most of them in the Middle East, I started, you know, having to face customers and start selling things, and I had to understand what they're doing, right? And customer is very interesting because it's something that we all are, right? It's something that we all have, and something, I dare say, we really don't understand that well, right? The combination of those three things really fascinates me. So now I have businesses, you know, some of them I invested in, others I helped run, others I started and I handed over to professional management. Anything from like insuring smartphones, right, in Saudi Arabia, right, that's commit device protection. Food on Click, which is like Yemek Sepeti, that kind of, you know, business, delivering food. To Experian, which is an American, UK risk management company. We're their partner in Middle East. We do very interesting things with them. Mondo Ride is like a, you know, ride-hailing business in Africa, in Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda. Right, we're mobilizing Africa. And there's Buglands. Some of you know Buglands. There's a genius Azeri guy. Yes, so I am the first investor in Buglands, right? Buglands is an Azeri startup that is essentially a crowd testing platform for mobile apps, right? Genius guy. Unfortunately, he's busy selling elsewhere. He's not here today. It's a Rural Summit. And then Joy enhances our holding company. Joy is the largest gifting platform in the Middle East. If you were in Dubai, you want to send flowers or chocolates to your wife, hopefully you would use us, So, okay. So that's me. But I'm insane, according to many people, right? Because fact is, 90% of startups fail, right? So why would I give up that career path and try for 10% success chance, right? I mean, that's like, that mouth of that chart is smaller than the opening of Pac-Man's mouth, right? That's insane. There's some sanity behind it. It's this, right? On the left is, you know, typical office in McKinsey. And over 3 to 5 year time period, your income would rise. If you're very good, you would double, right? Average 30, 40%, right? That's Hewlett-Packard's garage, I believe. That's where Hewlett-Packard started. If you do the startup game right, you can have in 5 years 100 times return, increase in not only your income, but also increase in your impact, right? I am very motivated by the fact that we started a company called Mondo, and today thousands of Africans, a lot of them are women, are safely going from point A to point B. In Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, in Mombasa in Kenya, etc. Right? But it's not easy to do that, right? It's not easy to build a company as, you know, Keep Face is trying to do, you know, as Turul is trying to do with Buglands, to build something that, you know, you put $1 in, you get $100 out in 5 years, right? So why? Because you have very limited resources. You have limited money. When you start, you're the only employee. I always talk about how many refrigerators I had to buy, right? There's no one to pass the buck to. You start a company, Jeff probably had to do this, right? You have to buy a refrigerator for your offices, you know, when you first started, right? You start a company, you build the office, somebody says, we need to have some food, some place to put our lunch in, you go buy the fridge, right? So you have very limited resources. I always pull the dual argument. This is one of the world's most famous duels. On the left is Aaron Burr, at the time the Vice President of the United States. On the right is Alexander Hamilton, a very notable thinker of the time, political thinker, journalist. And they hated each other. Read it up in Wikipedia, a very interesting story. Right? 1804, finally, you know, Aaron Burr convinces Alexander Hamilton to go on this duel. It was illegal. They had to take a boat from Manhattan to New Jersey. And that morning, Alexander Hamilton took the first shot. It was a 1 bullet, right? And somehow, some people say it was intentional, some people say it wasn't, he missed. He shot a tree above the head of Aaron Burr. Aaron Burr aimed better and shot him in the rib. And after 2 agonizing days, Alexander Hamilton, a great thinker of his time, died, right? So when people come to me with 1,000 ideas in our startups, a lot of influencers come to us asking for our marketing budget. I tell them, often I have 1 shot. What proof do you have that this is going to work, right? So we study customer experience as our secret weapon, because I don't have regulation on my side. I'm not a monopoly. I'm not the only water salesman in the desert. I don't have hard tech. Middle East is not the best place to, I should have studied at my MIT if I were going to get like IP and patents. And I'm not an artist. I'm not Picasso scratching something for 30 seconds and selling it for $10,000, right? We need to know the customer better. And that's why we study it. That's why we're fascinated with it day in and day out. And study it we do, right? That's you can tell a lot about a person on what's on their homepage, right? Of their smartphone. That's my iPhone. And I'm left-handed. So when I hold the phone in my left hand, right under my thumb, the most convenient app is Google Analytics, right? I use it more than, I turn it on, I've turned it on more than any social media. I turn it a bit less than WhatsApp and Slack, we use it for business. I actually turn it on more than I turn on, as you can see, from the 174 emails that I haven't read, my email app, right? So one message I want to get across to the influencers, there are quite a few of you here, is that if you're doing things that I cannot measure looking at some kind of tool like Google Analytics, I am going a bit deaf, right? So we want to be able to see results in the things that we do, because again, it's a duel. I have 1 bullet often, okay? So We study it all the time. We're fascinated with it. Nobody in our marketing department cannot be fascinated with the customer. So let me tell you what I've learned. So 20 years I've been studying the customer. And did anyone ever think about where the word customer came from? Right? Very interesting etymology, right? The roots of the word customer actually resides, the very roots resides in physics. In the 13th and 14th century, we humans, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we got very good at physics and we got very good at projectiles. We got very good at sending massive objects long distances over the air. Now, you didn't want to be a human being shot up into the air, but if you could shot a boulder, you could do some serious damage. So this had some major implications in warfare. So before that time, there were very few cities that were walled. Istanbul was one, right? Istanbul was a walled city early on. But most cities were a castle with a bunch of houses around it. And a lot of the public, 90% of the public was still rural. And when you lived in a farm, you grew your own food, you made your own clothes, right? You wove your own carpet, etc., right? And then you would barter, you would have some coin to exchange, etc., right? When these things came to being, this is a trebuchet, it was very high-tech at the time, right? The cities ended up having walls around them. And there were guards at the doors, at the gates. It wasn't so easy to get in and out of these cities anymore. So people had to stay in the city and get specialized. So now suddenly there was a butcher that went and got the sheep outside of the walls, brought it in on a daily or every 2 days, every week, and cut that meat. And there were people who made it a custom to go to that butcher to buy meat whenever they needed it. And there was a greengrocer that went and got the vegetables and fruits from outside the city walls and brought it in. And there was a tailor, etc., right? So for the first time, around this early 14th century, people start having the custom of dealing day in and day out with the same people and getting goods in exchange. Again, still there was barter, but also for coin, right? So we got this, walled cities, one of my favorite shows, and we got this new, very different human behavior sitting in these walled cities, a custom of shopping and customers, right? So, warning, there's a very boring consultant slide coming up. So that's 14th century, right? Between 14th century and 18th century, not much changes. There's usually the barter goes away a bit. Money is used more by these customers in these shops. And then, beginning of 1800s, end of 1700s, Americans come into play. Americans are great thinkers. It's the land of the possible, right? At the time, if you think about where America is at that moment, right? They come up with great ideas like a loyalty program. It was very innovative at the time. So stores would give you a copper coin of their own. And if you had enough of those coins, you would return them and you'd get a discount, right? Something we are so used to right now. It was so novel at the time. Then, about 100 years later, Betty Crocker, and maybe some of you know the brand, right? Starts what ends up being a 77-year loyalty program, right? A coupon, a very novel thing at the time again. And then we get 1950s, the first, credit card, Diners Club comes out. American Express follows. American Express then innovates on loyalty programs, starts the kind of first really high-tech loyalty program. And then the 2000s come with e-commerce, Amazon bringing in technology into making recommendations, etc. But this is the very interesting time that you are actually part of as influencers, because we have now a collection of all this technology and new habits of human beings that really will change the customer and what the customers do and what customers are going forward. We have these mobile devices in our pockets, free information available, ability to search. We have AI. We have, in 2 of our businesses, we use machine learning, right? You wouldn't even know it. I am tracking, when you're on my website, I am watching everything you're doing. We're putting all the videos of all our customers on top of each other, and we're running machine learning on that to figure out where our funnel breaks, right? All of this technology is coming together with you guys, this inbound marketing, these influencers, this constant search. So, how is the customer going to change? I don't know. I can make some guesses. I think about what are the mega trends. So, one mega trend that we see is democratization, right? People want more choices and the ability to pick from those choices, right? So, this is a company I'm on the advisory board of, very successful company based in Berlin. Medigo allows you to travel for medical needs, right? So, today, 50 years ago, God forbid you got sick, right? You would have to most likely, 99%, get treatment in your city or maybe the next city over, right? If you were in the rural countryside, you would travel to the capital, right? Today, if you want to have a hip surgery and you know orthopedics is great in Germany, Medigo will go and find the best doctor for you. They'll even negotiate for you, and they'll get you your visa. They'll get you a translator. They'll pick you up. If it's out of hospital care, they'll get you a hotel, right? And they'll do the same thing for if an American is not covered with insurance and wants to fly to India for cardiac surgery, because India has some of the best cardiac surgeons in the world. They have a lot of hearts to operate on, right? That's what you want in a surgeon. They do that as well. So in another business of ours, Joy, this is something that I help run every day, right? This gifting business. We're democratizing gifting. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, before Joy in Dubai, if you want to buy flowers to your wife, you would go within like a 2-kilometer radius of your home and you'd say, I want some pink roses. If they had run out of pink roses at that time, you'd buy red roses, which means something else than pink, right? And your wife would have to settle for what was left in the shop, right? Today, there is no such radius of 2 kilometers outside of your home. You order whatever you want, we will pick it up for you, we'll deliver it with a smile, and not even an extra charge for it, right? So, another mega trend is laziness. We are infinitely lazy, and we're trying to be even lazier as human beings, right? Here's this guy, look at him, he looks so happy, all alone in his wonderful living room, looking at his girlfriend, Alexa, right? You see on the left? I have an Alexa. How is this a happy sight? Why is he so happy? He's happy because he doesn't even have to type on his keyboard anymore. He can just say, what's the weather? Order me this, right? That's a trend. So as influencers, don't ask your customers or people that are following you to do things with many steps. I think that's one advice that I have. And we're also, following on that Amazon example, they picked it up really well. Not only are we so lazy at home, we're also super lazy out of home as well. I want to go to a grocery store. I want to have 5 different kinds of avocados from 4 countries, just ripe enough for me to eat that night. And I want to just walk out. I don't want to even pay for it. I want it to be somehow figured out, right? This is not going to go away. We're going to be more and more lazy and in return work out more and more on specific times to keep our health. Last trend is searching. We keep searching. I think other speakers touched on this. This is how I see it. We keep searching for the better. I live in Dubai. Let's say I've been to 300 restaurants in Dubai. I can tell you the top 20 that I really liked, but that's not good enough. I will still go to the 301st one in hopes that it'll be better than the top 20, right? Why? I don't know. That's how the human mind works. It's never enough, right? And thank you all for fueling that, by the way. Next, searching for being special. Joy specializes on this, our gifting, right? There are 7 billion of us, and the human condition is we want to be the one, right? I pause there, that this is the thing that you all know how to do so well, because you have followers, right? They think that you're special. And lastly, by having the best, searching and finding the best, by being special, we want to find meaning. So this is I see some faces, right? People cringe, right? A lot of people got in trouble for this in China. These are surgeons and nurses taking a photograph during a live operation, right? But imagine the psyche of these people, right? They have studied endless years, day and night. They've killed themselves, right? Figuratively, to be there, to be the savior of lives. What other calling is there more important than that? And that's still not enough, right? There are many other pictures like this. Doctors, coming out of, surgery, operation, 15-year of operation, and he's like posing in the elevator with a mirror, right? This search for meaning, we're trying to figure it out. What is humanity like? So, I want to say, maybe finish it by saying, I see this all the time in our businesses. We always are overestimating what we can do in a short amount of time, in a day, in a week, in a year, etc. These changes that will come with these mega trends of what humans want, in 10, 20 years, will make this world that we live in completely unrecognizable. That's my belief. In fact, I believe it so much that I believe that, one day we will reach abundance. There are two schools of thought. One school of thought is that we're destroying this planet and it won't be here in 2050. I'm an optimist, that's why I'm an entrepreneur, right? I believe that by 2050, we may have abundance. So we have AI, we have robots working for us, advanced manufacturing, 3D printing, right? We have already abundance in information. You know everything, it's in your pocket. Just ask it, right? So what will you influence as influencers as things become more and more abundant? If I've tried all the restaurants in Dubai, where will you send me? If I have everything, what will you tell me? I think that's the parting question that I want to leave you with. Thank you very much.
Turkish Airline video onu verersen Türkiye'ye. Thank you, Mr. Alper. Now, after 2-3 minutes, we start discussion panels. There are interesting topics, moderators, and our guests. Our first discussion panel, Travel Influencers panel, our sponsor, Turkish Airlines. The first, we will watch the Turkish Airline video, and then start our discussion panel. Thank you. Yeniden ver. Yeniden ver. For technical issues, we will watch it after discussion panel again. This amazing the video of Turkish Airlines. Now I want to invite to hear our moderator and guests, Ershan Rahimov and Azar Garib, Murat Zafer Özbilgi, Tuğçe Yılmaz, Altuk Galip, Marina Masliukova, Dima Özgün. Teşekkür ederim.
Hello, everyone. My name is Elshan. I welcome everyone here and say thank you for coming and joining us and spending your time to participate in this wonderful discussion panel. We have one more visitor, Azar Garib. He should approach soon. Now, I would like to start just giving brief information about each of us. So it would be better if everyone talks on his or her behalf. So starting from myself, I've been traveling for now over 25 years, and I was not thinking of this as something that in the future would turn into a business. So it started all in 1993 when I first time, finished my school and wanted to travel abroad to study outside my country. And since then until now, it's being more and more fascinating and a lot of opportunities. So I'm very delightful to be a moderator in this wonderful panel. I would ask everyone to briefly introduce himself or herself and give some background information. Please.
Merhaba. First of all, we decided to explain ourselves in Turkish language because we feel more comfortable. Benim adım Tuğçe Yılmaz. Türkiye'den geliyoruz buraya. Gezimanya.com isimli bir web sitemiz var. Şu anda Türkiye'nin en büyük seyahat platformu. Sosyal medyada da oldukça aktifiz. Web sitesinde aylık yaklaşık 2 milyonun üzerinde teke ziyaretçimiz var. Sosyal medyada özellikle YouTube, Facebook, Instagram'da oldukça aktifiz. Söyleyebileceklerim bunlar şimdilik.
Thank you very much. Please. Gelmiyor. Bir bakarsızdan yolda işte.
İşim geliyor galiba. Merhaba, benim adım da Murat Özbilgi. Tuğçe ile beraber Gezi Manya'yı yönetiyoruz. Aynı zamanda Manya Medya isimli bir pazarlama ajansımız var. Orada influencer marketing ve digital marketing üzerine seyahat odağında ağırlıklı olmak üzere çalışıyoruz. Bunun dışında Bahçeşehir Üniversitesi ve MEF Üniversitesi'nde content marketing ve digital marketing üzerine dersler veriyorum. Benim de.
Teşekkür ediyoruz.
Merhabalar, ismim Altuğ Galip. Kıbrıs'ta yaşıyorum. 6-7 senedir aktif Instagram kullanıyorum. Genellikle gezi üzerine, seyahat üzerine fotoğraf paylaşıyorum Instagram'ımda. Instagram sayesinde bayağı bir ülke gezdim. Hala daha gezmekteyim. Yani gerçekten hayatımın büyük bir kısmını oluşturmaya başladı. Hobi olarak başlamıştı bu. Daha sonraki sorularda cevaplayacağım geri kalan. Teşekkürler.
It's working? Okay. Hi, my name is Marina. I am originally living in Kiev, and by profession I'm a dentist. But a couple of years I started to travel, and it's always been my passion, and also photography. And with Instagram, Instagram helped me to reach my goals with traveling, so I could see more, I can meet new people, and I can experience, learn languages, different cultures. And I think that if I'm so inspired with travels, so I also can inspire people. Because when you travel, you see the world, and you also actually widen your world, as Turkish Airlines say. And you have more life experience. So you're not narrow-minded, and you can I think, start to make your dreams come true. Not only with travels, but when you start to travel, you see the opportunities come to your life, and you can just change it. For example, if you was a dentist like me, you decided to be a traveler, or you decided to open a new business, I think that actually can help you with open yourself to the world. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Oh man, this is so exciting. So first of all, I'm Dima, and first of all, I'm so grateful to be here with amazing people, listening to your great speeches, especially Jeff, if he's here. It was an amazing one. It just summarized everything that I've been learning in Silicon Valley in the last 4 years. And a little bit about me. I'm 25. I come from Cyprus, and I moved to England when I was 16, and then moved to America, finished my MBA, University of San Francisco. And then we founded Vacation Wolf, and we basically are top 1%, according to Clear.com, we are top 1% Instagram influencer in the travel community. And we basically help brands, especially in the travel niche, we help them grow a targeted audience and monetize their brands. And some of the clients we work with have been like Google, Marriott, and Live Lokai, and so many amazing brands we got to collaborate with. And yeah, I'm so happy to be here and would like to answer your questions soon. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Mənim adım Azər Qərib. Mən Azərbaycan Jurnalistlər Birliyinin üzvüyəm, International Travel Writers Alyansının üzvüyəm. Azərbaycanda ilk səyahət verilişinin müəllifi olmuşam, yaradıcısı olmuşam. Hal-hazırda yenə də Oralar televiziya layihəsinin aparıcılarından biriyəm. Mənə bloger deyirlər. Belə, bu qədər. Hamınızı görməyə şadam.
Well, thank you for presenting yourself. Let's agree on one very important technical issue, which I haven't known. I also learned from mistakes. Every time we finish talking, just press button so that the other microphones can be activated. Otherwise, maximum 2 microphones can be online. Well, that's very good. Thank you very much. I didn't say about the professional background of myself. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Baratson. And since last year, June, we also went into travel business, and it's now booming. And that's why I decided to be one of the panelists and moderator of the panel. So let me go to the questions which I prepared last night. And some of them I will try to address to each, to particular people. Some of them I will just loudly express, and anyone can pick up to answer. I would want to start with Turca, if you don't mind. Like among countries you've traveled so far, which one would you like to visit again and why?
Çalışıyor mu? Evet, tamam. Bugüne kadar ziyaret etme fırsatı bulduğum yaklaşık 120 tane ülke oldu. Hani dünyanın farklı kıtalarında. Ama şimdi sorduğunuz zaman hangisine tekrar gitmek istersiniz? Zannediyorum herhalde tekrar hepsine derim. Çünkü ilk seyahat etmeye başladığımda, yani seyahat etmeye yaklaşık 17-18 yaşında başladım yurt dışı seyahatlerine. Ama o dönemler fotoğraf makineleri bu kadar gelişmiş değildi, sosyal medya bu kadar aktif değildi. Yani sosyal medya yoktu zaten. Dolayısıyla şimdi tekrar aslında hepsine gidip tekrardan onları fotoğraflamak ve dokümente etmek isterim. Ama bunlar arasında tabii ki önceliklendirdiklerim olur. Mesela beni çok etkileyen yerlerden bir tanesi Galapagos Adaları oldu, Venezuela oldu. Bunlar hem kültür hem doğasıyla farklı olarak öne çıkan yerler benim için. Yine Asya kültürlerinden ve Uzak Doğu'dan çok etkileniyorum. O tarafta da daha çok hani Kuzey Tayland bölümü, Myanmar, yine Hindistan. Hani bunları tekrar tekrar ziyaret etmek isterim ve hiç sıkılmam zannediyorum.
Teşekkür ediyorum.
Rica ederim.
Eyni sualı mən Azər Qərbə vermək istərdim. Mümkündürsə siz də bu suala cavab verin. Yəni indiyə qədər səfər etdiyiniz ölkələrdən hansını təkrar ziyarət etmək istəyərdiniz və niyə?
Mənim favoritlərim var. Şəhərlər arasında bu Londondur yəqin ki. Ölkə olaraq İtaliya. Mən həm Londona istənilən qədər qayıtmağa hazıram, həm də İtaliyanın istənilən yerinə, istənilən şəhərinə dəfələrlə getməyə hazıram. Çünki yəqin ki, bu ştamp da artıq banal səslənir, amma İtaliya cəmaatı ilə bizim cəmaatın arasında oxşarlıq çoxdur. Belə ekspresiya, əllə, qolla danışmaq, istilik, səmimilik. Onlar dostluğu da dost kimi, kişi kimi eləyirlər, düşmənçiliyi də kişi kimi edirlər. Ona görə o ölkədən çox xoşum gəlir və cavab olaraq onu deyim ki, belə ölkə kimi İtaliya istənilən qədər qayıtmağa hazıram.
Teşekkür ederim. My next question I would like to address to Marina specifically. I don't know whether Marina visited Baku before or not. Is it
I'm
your...
sorry, can you repeat? It's working, not working.
Yep. Is this your first visit to Baku?
Yes, it's my first visit.
Okay, that's great. So this question is for you. What do you think, in your opinion, like which city in Europe would most resemble Baku? Like which city in Europe looks like very close to Baku?
Like Baku?
Yes, if you visited anyone in the Europe and you think that Baku looks like one of those cities in Europe.
Well, this is a really tough question because I had no chance actually to explore the city so much. I will have a chance after a few days. I think that Baku can't be compared. First of all, because I've always heard that hospitality in Azerbaijan is on a very high level. And I traveled to many countries, I've met many people, I talked, became friends, but I've never felt like something special like in Azerbaijan. Like people here, I have a friend, she's from Baku, but she lives in Kiev. And she's always so helpful. You can ask her, call her at night, and she will always come to help. And when I came to Azerbaijan, I was so surprised that people here, they have so warm hearts, you know. They're ready to help you in any kind of situations. They are so open-minded to be friends. So I think this is something that no any city actually has. I can really tell it with absolute 100%. About other things, I'm not sure yet, because I will have the chance to explore it more.
Okay. Thank you very much, Marina. I'd like to ask Altuk, since he has been traveling as all the others for so many destinations. Now, Altuk, what do you think? How can you evaluate your past since the beginning you started to travel? How does the growth of the audience, like your audience, your followers, as well as the activities of the new tourism places influence your activities? Like, how does your audience and followers, like increase of your audience and increase of the number of followers, affect your activities?
Şimdi öncelikle Instagram'a başladığımızda bu biraz hırs işidir ve network'ünüzü iyi geliştirmeniz gerekir. Ben ilk başladığımda kimse beni like'lamıyordu. Fotoğraf çekip koyuyorduk. Like gelmiyordu. Daha sonra araştırdık. Baktık, gördük. Network. Ne oldu? Endonezya'dan arkadaşlarla ahbap olduk. Onlar bizim Kıbrıs'ta yaşadığım için ilk başta Kıbrıs'tan fotoğraf çekiyordum. Onlar bizim fotoğraflarımızı kendi kanallarında yayınladılar. İşte dediler bu arkadaşım Altu Kıbrıs'tan. Ne güzel işte bir gün batımı. Aynı şekilde ben onlara collaboration yaptım. Böylelikle onun takipçileri bana geldi, benimkiler ona gitti. Daha sonra işte uygun hashtag kullanımı, çeşitli böyle bu şekilde collaboration'lar yaparak. Ama tabii yani bu evaluation geçtiği zaman 7-8 sene boyunca Instagram'ın da algoritması gün be gün, ay be ay ya da yıl be yıl değişmekteydi. İlk başta her şey daha serbestiyet vardı. Mesela o zaman istediğin kişiyi takip edip bırakabiliyordun ya da işte istediğin kadar fotoğrafa like atabiliyordun. Ama şimdi belli kısıtlamalar yapıyorlar, her şeyi engelliyorlar, sponsor postlar olmakta. Yani her şeyi bir maddi duruma soktular bu dönemlerde. Ne kadar da iyi fotoğraf çekersen çek, bu belli kitlelere gidemiyor. Yani biz şanslıydık aslında. İlk başta başladık diye o network'ü geliştirdik. İşte İtalyan arkadaşlar işte bizim fotoğrafımızı post etti. Dedi takip edin. Ben aynı şekilde onlara yaptım. Bu şekilde bir kitleye ulaştık.
Okay, thank you for the question. Can you please turn off the microphone so that my question will be addressed to Dima? What do you think? Which ones are attracting most? The photos or videos?
So I would say 50-50 because like when Instagram started, photos were the main thing. Instagram is a photo app, so it was photos in the beginning, but as the time is moving, it's transitioning more into videos. But still, not every video does well. Like sometimes we put so much work into our content and then we don't get so many views, and then we post something really stupid sometimes and like very simple 5-second video, and then we get so many engagement and even followers from it. So I would say 50-50.
Okay, thank you. Now, Murat, can I ask a question to you, please, so that it's like fair division between each one. What about brands? How do they choose influencers? Which brands would you associate yourself with? Can you please turn off, Murat, can you please turn off the...
Çalışıyor mu? Süper. Aslında bu soruya iki şekilde yanıt verebilirim. Nasıl çalışmaları lazım ve nasıl çalışıyorlar? Çünkü bence markalar, brandler henüz olması gereken influencer marketing anlayışında değiller. Bir arada boşluk olduğunu, bir gap olduğunu düşünüyorum. Şu anda influencer marketing bir hype. Yani bütün markalar Me Too şeklinde davranıyorlar. Yani herkes mutlaka bir influencer marketing kampanyam olsun şeklinde yaklaştıkları için gerçek bir analiz yaptıklarını düşünmüyorum. Pek çok marka için geçerli. Tabii çok ayağı yere basan stratejileri olan markalar da var. Hani onları ayrı tutarak söylüyorum. Ama şu anda piyasada gördüğümüz yaklaşımların çoğu takipçi sayısı en yüksek olan veya gönderi başına en yüksek görünen etkileşimi alan influencerlardan bir kafalarına göre gözleriyle seçerek bir kendilerince bir kampanya oluşturma şeklinde oluyor. Ama böyle mi olmalı? Böyle olmamalı. Yani influencer marketing aslında genel bir markanın marketing stratejisinin sadece bir kanalı. Yani markanın kendi ana stratejisinin içerisinde influencer'ın, daha doğrusu hangi influencer onlara hitap edecekse, ortak hedef kitleyi yakalamış influencer kimse tercih ona göre yapmalılar. Artı kampanyalarının, o anda yürüttükleri kampanyalarının stratejisine göre bu influencer tercihi de değişebilir. Ama dediğim gibi şu anda bir gap var ve o gap şu anda herkesin daha popülist bir strateji izlemesini gerektiriyor. Markalar tamamen popüler olan influencerlar üzerinden sadece belli bir kitle içerisinde dönerek hareket ediyorlar. Yani bence henüz daha o evrim geçirme sürecimizi henüz tamamlamadık. Yani marketing dünyasının özellikle marketing professional insanların zaman içerisinde biraz daha içerik stratejilerini merkeze alarak, influencerları birer kanal olarak görerek daha aklı başında stratejiler izleyeceklerini düşünüyorum. Bunun da büyük markalarda iyi örneklerini görüyoruz. Zaman içerisinde bu örnekler artacaktır.
My next question I'd like to address to Azar Garib, since he's representing Azerbaijan. So what would you advise to tourists who want to travel to Azerbaijan? Like, what should they take into account? Like, what type of preparation should they make before coming to Azerbaijan? What kind of advice you can give to them?
Benim için Azerbaycan öyle bir ülkedir ki orada çok mix bir hissiyatlar var. İlk öncə tarixdir, gəzməli yerlərdir, təbiətdir və mən həmişə onu vurğulayıram ki, bizim ən belə vacib, dəyərli tərəflərimizdən biri də bizim mətbəximizdir. Yəni, bu gastronomik turizm deyirlər, onun mən tərəfdarıyam. Digər ölkələrdə olanda da istəyirəm o yerli təamlardan dadım. Azərbaycana gələnləri də həmişə tövsiyə edirəm ki, gəzin, görün, amma axşam özünüzü saxlayın, yaxşı, dadlı yeməklər olacaq. Əlbəttə ki, Azərbaycanın bu yalnız mətbəx deyil, Azərbaycanın özəlliyi həm də ondadır ki, burada mədəniyyətlərin qarışığı var. Bunu, bütün qonaqlar da bunu qeyd edirlər, xüsusilə vurğulayırlar. Həm qərbi görmək olur burada, həm şərqi görmək olur. Məsəl üçün, Bakı ilə regionların fərqi çox böyükdür. Bakıda daha çox modern həyat görürsən, biraz Bakıdan qırağa gedirsən, daha çox adət-ənənələri görürsən, konservativ bir həyat görürsən. Və bu da hər bir turist üçün hesab edirəm ki, çox bir önəmli bir tərəflərdir. Və Azərbaycana gələn yalnız ultra müasir Bakını deyil, həm də regionları, rayonları, bizim fəxr ediləsi çox bir tərəflərimiz var. Xizək kurortlarımız da var, çimərliklərimiz də var. Yəni, mən burada biraz qısa danışıram, amma xaricdə əcnəbilərlə ünsiyyətdə olanda ağız dolusu hər şey belə daha emosional danışıram. Welcome to Azerbaijan. Bu qədər.
Thank you. Now, Tulja, my next question would be addressed to you. What would you advise to young people who are interested in developing some new things in industry? Like if they want to get into the industry, maybe someone would like to be a blogger or maybe to set up a company, a travel company, or become an influencer. Like what would you advise to young influencers?
Öncelikle hani çok doğru bir yerden girdiniz aslında. Çünkü son dönemde influencer olmak, blogger olmak falan çok popüler hale geldi. Hani herkes bir blog açayım, hani işi gücü bırakayım falan gibi düşünüyor. Ama benim önerim şu olacak. Yani biz de kendimiz Gezimanya'yı kurmadan önce iyi bir planlama yaparak yola çıktık. Yani bu aslında dışarıdan görüldüğü kadar kolay değil. Biz evet sosyal medyada sadece gezip gördüklerimizi yansıtıyoruz. Herkesten şöyle yorumlar geliyor. Ne kadar güzel hayatınız var. İşte her yeri dolaşıyorsunuz, geziyorsunuz. İşte hayat size güzel. Ama bunun arkasında çok yoğun bir çalışma var. Hani kimse o tarafı çok fazla görünmüyor maalesef. Gençlere de tavsiyem benim şey olur. Çok popüler bir şey var son zamanlarda. İşte Ferrari'sini satan Bilge gibi işi gücü bıraktım, düştüm yollara. Bak ne kadar kolay, bedava da gezebilirsin. Aslında yok öyle bir şey. Yani her şeyi planlayarak yola çıkmak lazım. Bir blog açtınız, ne kadar content üreteceksiniz, ne kadar buna vakit ayıracaksınız. Günde 8 saat mi çalışacaksınız, 15 saat mi çalışacaksınız? Hepsinin arkasında bir planlama süreci olması lazım. Öncelikle plan önemli. Yani bir planla yola çıkmalarını öneririm. İkincisi, eğer bir travel blog yapmak istiyorlarsa öncelikle bunu araştırmaları lazım. Yani WordPress'te mi yapacak, Drupal'de mi yazacak? Hani bu diline ve sistemine hakim olması lazım. Fotoğrafçılıkla ilgili biraz eğitim alması lazım. Yani her noktada sadece blog açtım, yazdım. Evet, okuyan okur, okumayan okumaz gibi bir şey değil. Okumayan kişi neden okumuyor? Onun okuması için ne yapmam gerekiyor? Fotoğraflarım kötü mü? Nasıl güzelleştirebilirim? Yani her aşamasında mutlaka bununla ilgili eğitimler alınması gerekiyor bence.
Teşekkür ederim. Thank you. Okay. Altuk, may I ask you a very short question? Do you think tourism is something that can only be afforded by rich people, or some middle class or maybe poor people can also afford traveling?
Vallahi bu gelişen dünyada bu sosyal medyanın gücüyle beraber artık seyahat etmek zengin insanların işi olmaktan çıktı. Yani bunu bir şekilde belli bütçeniz varsa birçok ulaşım yoluyla internetten araştırarak gezilebiliyor. Örnek vermem gerekirse Mesela ben gideceğim yerlerde, yani kendi örneğin Norveç'e 6 defa gittim. Örnek vereyim. İlk Norveç'e gideceğimizde arkadaşlarla araştırdık. Yani gerçekten maliyeti yüksek olan bir ülke. Avrupa'nın alım gücü olarak güçlü ülkelerinden bir tanesi. Kendimiz ona göre ön araştırmayı yaptık. Zaten amacımız fotoğraf olduğu için yani kalacak yer bizim için o kadar önemli değildi. Sadece uygun bir şekilde korunaklı olması. Ve ilk gittiğimizde gerçekten komik miktarlara gittik. 9 gün kaldık. Auroraları çektik. Fotoğraf açısından gerçekten iyi bir ülke. Benim 6 defa gidip de yani yine 7.'yi gitmek isteyeceğim bir ülke. Landscape fotoğrafı olarak bilhassa etkili. Yani bu artık ekstrem bir olaydan çıktı. Yani her alım gücünde insanların rahat bir şekilde bu havacılık sektöründe ilerlemesiyle yani gidebilir.
Teşekkür ediyorum. Thank you. I want to now ask Dima for like the countries when you visit, what is the best way to travel within the country? To have maybe rent a car or to travel by bicycle or train, take a taxi? Like what is the best way to enjoy the traveling?
I think it really depends on the country you're visiting. So currently I live in Amsterdam, and my favorite way to travel there is bicycle. I love it because it just makes everything easier. It's so accessible. But if I'm in an island, for instance, I like to rent a car. I know we were in Amazon. The best way we dived in Amazon, the best way was to just use a boat. So it really depends on the country, I guess.
Okay, thank you. Now let me ask like general questions, and anyone can decide to answer to this. Like you as influencers have a large number of followers. Like last night I tried to go into the Instagram, Facebook, and I found some of them having even over 1 million followers, and that's a really great number. And as influencers who have a lot of followers and a big number of followers, in many cases you would find that people are writing some comments, and I found no replies. Like, what is the reason for that? Is it that you don't really have time to reply for everyone's comments? Or is it that the questions or the comments are not interesting for you? Like, who can answer to that? Okay, Marina, can you please?
Is it working? Okay. So the thing is, it's definitely a matter of time. So when, for example, I do a picture, I do a post, and I'm trying to reply as much as I can for the first comments. But I do really read all the comments because for me it matters. It really matters how people react with my pictures. Do they like it or they don't like? Because negative comments help me to improve myself, you know? Because photography for me means a lot. It's not just I'm decided to take pictures and whatever. I really like people engage, you know, and I try also to do the back thing. So if I have time, I also try to go to the pages. For example, many people who don't have many followers or they just interested in traveling, they ask questions or they ask me in direct messages on Instagram. They're asking for advices. You know, they're asking, how can I go to this place? Where can I stay? Where is the best food? And then, of course, obviously, I ask those questions because it's why I'm here for you. If I visit some place you want to go and you've never been, I will try to help you to make your experience better, you know. So I think this is, depends on time, but me, I really like to answer the comments or all the direct messages, for sure, I will answer. Messages or on the comments, like for example, excitement, like wow, this is a beautiful picture, obviously, maybe I will ignore the way to answer, but if it's a question or advice or concern, definitely it will be replied.
Şimdi ben bunlara bir şey daha ilave edeyim. Şimdi biz ilk başladığımız zaman o kadar bir her fotoğrafın altına teşekkür ettik, yorum yaptık, engage olduk, aktif olmaya çalıştık. Belli bir dönemden sonra gezdiğin zaman buna vakit bulamıyorsun. Yani fotoğraf mı çekeceksin ya da bir konsept mi hazırlayacaksın ya da işte araba mı süreceksin, seyahat mi edeceksin? Buna vakit bulamıyoruz ve yurt dışına çıktığımızda tabii doğallıkla vaktimiz olmuyor. Fakat yeni başlayanlara tavsiyem, yani kesinlikle bir blog açtıkları zaman sosyal medyada aktif olmaları gerekir. Bu aşırı derecede önemlidir ve bu sayede daha değişik kitlelere de ulaşabilirler.
Thank you. If anyone wants to comment, okay. Well, I have a few questions to go yet. One of them I would like to ask Murat, since he answered a very close question to that about the brands. How should a brand and influencer match? Like, what should be considered in choosing an influencer for any brand? For which criteria do brands choose you, for example?
Ben yine benzer bir cevap vereceğim. Yani influencer marketingten önce markanın kendi content marketing stratejisini oluşturması gerekiyor. Yani influencer marketing bir sihirli değnek değil. Yani ben başka hiçbir şey yapmayayım ama bir influencer gelsin, beni 1 milyon takipçisine ulaştırsın ve birdenbire başarı gelsin. Bu çok gerçekçi bir beklenti değil. Daha gerçekçi ve daha olması gereken, daha profesyonel olan ise şu, markanın ana şemsiye marka stratejisi dahilinde onun uzantısı olarak oluşturulmuş bir stratejik içerik pazarlama planı, content marketing planı, onun da bir uzantısı olarak influencer marketing planı yaparlarsa o zaman zaten doğru influencerlar hemen kendini gösterecektir. Örnek vereyim, örneğin 5 yıldızlı bir otel kendisiyle ilgili mesela işte hafta sonu spa gibi veya kutlama ürünleri gibi yani işte akşamları partiler olabilir. İşte Halloween partiler varmış mesela bu akşam. O tarz ürünlerini ön plana çıkarmak istiyorsa o zaman lifestyle influencerlardan doğru bir kitleyi buna doğru seçmesi lazım. Ama bundan önce ana içerik pazarlama stratejilerini oluşturmaları gerekiyor. Şey tarzı yaklaşımlar işte ya atıyorum işte Tuğçe çok popüler Türkiye'de. İşte başka birisi Amerika'da çok popüler. 1 milyon takipçisi var. Hadi ben onunla çalışayım tarzı yaklaşımlar çoğunlukla çok başarıya doğru gitmiyor. Daha influencer marketing başlamadan daha erken yapılması gerekiyor bu karar verme süreçlerinin. Daha erken başlaması gerekiyor.
Okay.
Bizim için de aynı şey geçerli yani.
Teşekkür ederim. And my last question, taking into account that we have shortage of time, and I would like everyone to comment. You know that Azerbaijan has very recently opened its doors to international tourism, and the government has done a lot of things to promote Azerbaijan, and the easy visa regime has triggered a lot of visitors, and most of them have come from the Middle East. What do you think, what should be done more in order to attract more tourists? Like not particularly from one area. Like if we want to bring tourists from Europe, from Central Asia, from Far East, and so on. Like, what do you think the country should do for like to? Maybe we start with Azar Garib. Can you please comment on that?
Mən açığı yaxşı eşitmədim, anlamadım sual.
Azərbaycan son illər yəni turizm sahəsində inkişaf etməyə başlayıb və bir çox yeniliklər edilib. Yəni xarici ölkələrdən gələn vətəndaşlara viza rejimi yüngülləşdirilib. Sizin fikrinizcə turizm sahəsini Azərbaycanda inkişaf elətdirmək üçün, yəni turistlərin axınının sayını artırmaq üçün hansı əlavə fəaliyyətlər görülməlidir? Nə kimi tövsiyələr verə bilərsiniz?
Tövsiyə mən yəni o qədər özümü səlahiyyətli saymıram ki, tövsiyə, amma mən qıraqdan baxanda hesab edirəm ki, ən böyük problemlərimizdən biri regionlarda bəlkə servisin kifayət qədər yüksək olmamasıdır. O sahədə hesab edirəm ki, çox işlər görülməlidir. Bir də yəqin ki, marketinq olmalıdır. Çünki özünüz də görürsünüz ki, məsəl üçün 5 il bundan öncə və indi müqayisə edəndə çox böyük fərqlər var. Demək olar ki, Azərbaycan turistik bir boom yaşayır. Gələn turistlərin sayı günü-gündən artır. Və mən hesab edirəm ki, bunun üçün sadəcə zaman lazımdır. Çünki mən özüm də tez-tez rayonlara gedib, qəbiləyə tez-tez gedib gələnəm, köklərim oradandır. Və mən görürəm nə qədər böyük fərq var. Məsəl üçün 5 il, 6 il bundan əvvəl necə idi, servisin səviyyəsi, otellərin səviyyəsi və s. və axır. Və indi nə qədərdir. Yəni, mən hesab edirəm ki, həm dövlətin dəstəyi, həm insanların daxilən gələn dəstəyi, bunlar bir yerdə birləşəndə güman edirəm ki, yaxşı nəticələr əldə olunacaq. Yəni, uzun sözün qısası, həm servis sarıdan biraz irəli getməliyik, həm də marketingdə çox işlər görülür, amma yenə də görülməlidir.
Okay. Maybe anyone else would like to comment as well.
So I think the first most important thing is creating attraction and making your country very attractive to especially influencers as well. I will give you an example. For instance, Greece did a great job this year on this, and like some of the hotels have been inviting some of the best influencers, and it's important to invite the right influencer as well. For instance, we at Vacation Wolf, we say that we influence the influencers, because when we went to Hawaii, we saw all the followers and other influencers flying there, and then when we did the same in Greece, we saw the same thing, and Amsterdam same. So like it's important to choose the right influencers and create attractive venues as well. For instance, like in Mykonos, there's a hotel called Kavotego Mykonos, and if you check out their marketing, they did the most amazing influencer marketing, in my opinion. And I would open similar venues and then invite the right influencers who are influencing the influencers. So that way you can create attraction.
Evet, ben de bir şey eklemek istiyorum. Bizim Murat'la beraber son bir sene içinde 3 defa gelme şansımız oldu Bakü'ye. Dolayısıyla bir sene içindeki bile gelişimi biraz daha net görebildik. Özellikle büyük çabalar var turizmi geliştirmek için. Çünkü mesela içeri şehirde çerçeveler yapılmış, işte MyBakü hashtagleriyle insanlar orada, hani dedik ya hep konuşmalarda, herkes aslında bir influencer. Oraya girip bir kişi kendi fotoğrafını çekip sosyal medyada paylaştığı zaman onu dağıtma şansı oluyor. Bu önemli bir etken. Benim geliştirilmeye açık gördüğüm noktalardan bir tanesi şu: genelde gelen insanlar gerek business trip ile gelsin, gerek turistik ziyaret için gelsin, hep bilinen yer Bakü. En fazla insanlar Gobustan'a kadar gidiyor ama işte Kebele'ye gitmiyorlar, Şeki'ye gitmiyorlar. Belki Bakü'nün içinde onları, o diğer şehirleri promote edecek işler yapılabilir. Mesela bildiğim kadarıyla şu anda Nar Festivali var. Ama Nar Festivali ile ilgili Bakü'nün içinde hiçbir şey bulamadık. Hani belki insanlar, çünkü festivaller de turistleri çeken büyük atraksiyonlar oluyor. Onlara da biraz daha ön plana çıkartmak için bir şeyler yapılabilir.
Well, it was my pleasure talking to you and having a chance to ask you questions. Having an opportunity, I'd like to also comment on some of the issues that I've asked from my personal experience. Like, I've been traveling around the world, and the most attractive thing for me has never been some beautiful buildings or some architecture. Of course, these are important, but the most memorable thing, which has always left with me, were people.
Yeah.
Like the people that you are interacting with, you have smiling faces, you have helpful people. So I do hope that Azerbaijan would be one of those countries would be remembered by its hospitality and its welcoming nation. So thank you very much, and again, welcome to Azerbaijan. Please try to promote Azerbaijan as much as possible to make a joint work. Thank you. Thank you for everyone.
Qonaqlarımıza çox təşəkkür edirik. İndi isə bizim panellərimiz Fashion and Beauty paneli ilə davam edəcək. So now I am going to invite one handsome guy and 5 beautiful women to here. So Özgür from Turkey, Shirine Buitella from Algeria, Diana Sermi from United Kingdom, Şeyda Erdoğan from Turkey, Olga Abramovich from Russia, and Melody Elbirler from Turkey. Welcome, hi. So, okay.
Merhaba. I think this panel will be English and Turkish. I'm from Turkey. I'm a fashion and lifestyle influencer. And also I'm working in digital marketing for like 10 years. And it's my first time in Baku. And I'm happy to be here actually. I have my friends, my influencer friends. They are really has big audiences on social media about fashion and beauty. So I'm gonna ask them some questions, how they create their content and how they make, how they influence people. So I want to start with my first question. When did you start your channel and how you started? What was your starting point?
Hi. First, I want to introduce myself. So I'm Shireen Boutella from Algeria. I'm also known as by Mademoiselle S on the social media. I think, like everyone, I didn't really plan to be an influencer. I was super bored. I used to live in Vienna. I was learning the language, German, and I didn't speak any word. So it was super hard to talk to people or to communicate with anybody or to understand anything, so I couldn't even watch TV. So I started watching YouTube. And I started watching like videos of makeup, and I don't know, I felt like there is something for me there. Like for me it looked like art, you know, what you can do with colors and textures, and it was amazing. So I was like, okay, let's just start. And all my money, I spent it in makeup. I bought a lot of makeup, and I just started practicing on myself. Then I was like, okay, why not trying YouTube? So I started filming myself with a like super, super bad camera. And that's how it started. And then my community, the Algerian community was, I don't know, they were interested in it, so they just started following me. And first I wanted to be a makeup artist because of that. And then, I don't know, people were coming, and when I was saying like this product is amazing, then the brand would contact me like, yeah, we sold so many of them because you talked of it. And people were like, yeah, Mademoiselle S talked about it. What is it? We want to buy it. Where is it? You know? And that's how it started. And now I'm here in Baku with 1 million followers. Woo. My God. Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
Thanks for your answer. And also I want to ask the same question my other friends. Maybe we can continue with Şeyda. I want to ask also in Turkish. YouTube'a ya da Instagram'a nasıl başladın? Seni başlamaya iten şey neydi? Ne zaman başladın ve o süreçten bu yana nasıl ilerledi? Biraz bahsedebilir misin?
Evet, sanırım sesim geliyor. Türkçe konuşacağım, anlarsınız diye düşünüyorum. Biz anlaşabiliyoruz bence. Burada herkesle anlaşabildim. Aslında benim makyaja ilgim inanılmaz küçükken başladı. Ben 5-6 yaşlarımda yani bildiğiniz pastel boyaları bile aslında işte rujlara benzeterek başladım bu şeye. Aynı zamanda resmi de çok seviyordum ve bu bana resim yapmayı çok anımsattı. Zaten büyüdüğüm zamanda da bu sebeple güzel sanatlar eğitimi almak istedim. Dediğim gibi küçüklüğümden beri çok ilgili biriydim. Ergenlik zamanımda sosyal medyayı keşfettim ve sosyal medyada takipçi sayım artmaya başladı belirsiz bir şekilde. Sadece kendimi çekip koydum. Sadece yüzünüzü koyduğunuz o selfie'lerden insanlar sizi görüp takip ediyor. Bir şekilde sizi seviyorlar, tanımasalar bile. Ve bu şekilde her şey başladı yani ve takipçilerim bana şunu demeye başladı. Neden bunu YouTube'da yapmıyorsun? Bu tavsiyeleri bize YouTube'da vermiyorsun. Bunu yapabilirsin dediler ve ben de dedim ki neden olmasın? İlk başlarda zordu. Çünkü tam ergenlik zamanıma denk geldiği için insanlar hep dalga geçti. Zaten bana gelen en fazla sorulan sorulardan biri de ya YouTube kanalı açmak istiyorum ama çevremin benimle dalga geçmesinden, işte bu influencerlık olaylarını basit almasından çok korkuyorum. İşte ne yapmalıyım tarzı sorular geliyordu. Ben de bunları yaşadım aslında. Ama ben pes etmedim çünkü ben hep sevdiğim şeyi yapmak istedim. Aynı liseye başladığımda avukat olmayı isterken şu an fotoğraf okumam gibi, güzel sanatlar okumam gibi. Şu an ben 20 yaşındayım. Aslında daha yolun çok başındayım ama benim hep istediğim bir şey vardı. Ben istediğim şeyi yapmak istiyordum. Ve şu anda da bunu yapıyorum. Çok mutluyum. Hayatımı paylaşıyorum. Sevdiğim şeyi, makyajı yapıyorum. Böyle başladım. Şu anda da hala devam ediyorum. Benim de neredeyse 1 milyon takipçim olacak YouTube'da. Şu an 800 bin civarındayız. Bu kadar.
Teşekkürler Şeyda. I want to ask same question to Diana. I think the audience really want to know how you started and when you started. Can you tell us a bit?
So just a few words about myself. My name is Diana Gourmet, and I live right now in Scotland, but I was born in Moldova. And I have a YouTube channel about beauty, travel, fashion, all these things, like girly things. And then I started my Instagram as well, but my main thing is definitely YouTube. Now, I started my YouTube when I was at the end of my bachelor degree. So when I was doing my bachelor degree at university, and I first started filming in the student dorm room with, other colleagues around me, and it was pretty funny, but it was really nice. And I started doing more like beauty, makeup tutorials, because I'm very passionate about makeup. Then I started talking about more psychological topics about life, because I also have a master's degree in clinical psychology. So yeah, a lot of these things are based on beauty. I wanted to express myself. I wanted to express my passion for makeup, for beauty, all these things. So this is why I started at YouTube. And I started my channel in 2012. So it was quite early, but yeah, I really love it. I still love it. I still love doing these things. I love, talking to people through my social media, and I love learning and teaching, beauty stuff as well. So that's about it.
Thank you. And I want to ask my also Turkey friend the same question, but there's a mistake at the background. So I want to first introduce Melody is also an influencer from Turkey. She's a really big influencer from fashion and lifestyle area. I want to ask the same question, how you started and when and how do you create your contents? How was the process? Can you tell us a bit?
I started like 4 years ago, first with my Instagram page, and then I opened my blog. People used to read blogs in Turkey. Now they don't. Then everything passed to YouTube and video creating stuff. Actually, I'm not that into YouTube like the others. I like Instagram more than YouTube. I was teaching English at a university for 8 years. Then I needed a space for myself, as a hobby. So I came up with this idea. I saw girls posting their pictures, creating YouTube videos. I think I can do the same. So everything started like this. Then it turned to a job for me. That's why I quit my job, and I'm here now. I like creating content. I like shooting, taking pictures. So that's how I actually started.
Thank you for all your answers. And my next question will be it's a bit cliche, but I know that everybody has some inspirations, and we all have inspirations. Also, influencers, I guess, have some inspirations, maybe from art, maybe from people. So I want to ask, who are your inspirations? What maybe style of art or people or anything else?
Hello.
Welcome. Okay, we can. We have two of new influencers on our panel. Maybe you can introduce yourself, guys.
My name is Olga Abramovich. I'm Instagram blogger, I'm model. Скажи, что 16 лет. Говори. А у тебя не работает?
Yeah. Hello. I will translate Olga's words. She's Instagram blogger from 16 years old.
Ну, что я люблю путешествовать.
She adore to travel like everybody,
Что я
like
хочу, чтобы мой
bloggers.
муж стал моим фотографом.
She wants to her. Speak. Is it possible to speak Russian? Говори.
Я люблю путешествовать, я люблю фотографироваться, фотографирую 16 лет. Я хочу совместить работу со своим мужем. Я хочу, чтобы мой муж путешествовал со мной, фотографировал меня. И я просто люблю фотографироваться. Больше всего в жизни, мне кажется, я уделяю все время только этому. Thank you. Спасибо.
I'm not a blogger. I'm just a husband of Olga. I can speak about how to be a husband of Olga Abramovich-Olnik. Microphone doesn't work.
А можно сказать еще, что...
Ты хочешь сказать? Что?
Thank you. And as I told, my next questions is who are your inspiration? We can start with Şeyda maybe and the other friends.
I don't know, you know, Kat Von D. Kat Von D is a painter, musician, actually a tattoo artist. I like her so much. He has her own brand, and I like her so much. She likes cats. She likes arts. It's my one of inspiration. Thank you.
By the way, if you want to pass the question, if you don't want to answer, you can just pass the other person, so we can continue like that.
Yeah, I think inspiration is very personal. You know, like everything can inspire you. It could be colors, it could be a dress, it could be someone, it could be a song, it could be, you know. I think, I'm talking for me, like when you, for example, pictures, because it's not only about brand and selling products and making, you know, branding and so. I think it's also sharing stuff, you know, sharing love of, I don't know, as she said, animals or a cause or I don't know, anything. And like, we should get our own self, you know, and share something that we get inspired from here, a little bit from here, and we create our own self to inspire others, you know. I think that's the best thing. So. And share emotions and share everything. That's cool.
For me, when I started, I think the most inspirational thing was Tumblr. It was a really big thing in 2012, 2010. But I also look at art as an inspiration because I was studying art for a couple of days, music and paintings. That always inspires me. For makeup, I just put all my makeup in front of me and then I start creating something. But as for the psychological topics, when I talk about those, I just analyze people and I see, you know, what issues we have or maybe what's bothering us right now, and I talk about those things. So that's kind of it.
I just have one question. Do you always analyze people? I'm always wondering when people are like doing this psychology thing.
I don't always analyze, but you know, when I see something really maybe outrageous or, you know, something, maybe a personality is so big or so inspirational, yes, I like to analyze those specific persons. Sorry.
So like when I'm listening the answers, I'm thinking about a name, but I think I can't give an exact name to you. Well, because I get inspired from like everybody around. You know, now everybody is an influencer. So like I get inspired from Pinterest a lot, like your Tumblr. And like all of the pictures I see in the explore part of Instagram, like everyone around me. So that's why I can't give an exact name, like everything inspires me.
Повторите вопрос, пожалуйста. Мы не расслышали.
What inspires you? What is it?
Yeah, what inspires you? What's your inspiration? Что вдохновляет? Что меня вдохновляет? Мне кажется, каждый день меня что-то вдохновляет, потому что меня вдохновляют красивые люди, меня вдохновляют красивые места, меня вдохновляют красивые блогеры, меня вдохновляют красивые аккаунты, фотографы, работы фотографов. Мне кажется, меня все вдохновляет. Я хочу видеть себя в разном образе, я себя вдохновляю. Меня вдохновляет любое развитие, движение. Все. А меня никто не понял, да? Может быть, по-английски повторить?
Okay. Olga said that beautiful places, beautiful photographers, beautiful people, and everything what is beautiful is inspired her. And also, I think she's usually she said that love inspired. Yeah, love inspired her, and so films, books, and other things, everything what is beautiful. And Olga said that she's inspired by beautiful bloggers like you. So that's all.
Thank you. My next question is a bit personal, and it's that is there any do you have any regrets about your past looks that you tried in the past? Maybe right now when you look at it, you find it not so good, but in the back time you tried it for a long time. My question is this.
I have something that happened to me like very recently, and it's not really personal, because I think personal, it's good to have experiences to grow yourself, but it was more a business thing, you know, like I used to be, I think all of us, because I think we are, you are younger than me, but you seem to be very young, and like, I'm also naive, you know, I just started, I'm not really a businesswoman. I would love to be, but I'm not. That's why it's better to have someone to help you for that. Like it was a business something when I trusted someone, you know, like just with words and doing business together, like no money in the deal. That's, I think, the biggest mistake I ever done. No money, because I wanted something to be, I had my name on something, you know, and it made me so proud to think of it. I was like, okay, no problem, no contract, no money, just like trusting each other. And of course, at the end, it was like a huge catastrophe. And I was like, my God, crying, you know, like it was a real drama. So I think it's always good to learn from our experiences, but girls, don't be naive. And guy also, like we shouldn't be naive, and like be surrounded by good people around you that knows about what you're doing, that knows about business. I think we always have someone around that knows a special, I don't know how to say, domain that can help you, you know. And yeah, in personal life, I think for all of us, it's like, it's not a regret, but as soon as you're a public figure, I think there's a lot of hate coming also, a lot of critics, a lot of bad things and negativity. And I think that's the only negative and really huge thing that hurts me sometimes, you know, when you see like so mean comments, you don't understand why. Like, I never did anything wrong to these people, you know, and they're so mean, and I think it also makes us very strong. That's why I'm saying it's never really regrets, but always learning from things like that.
I don't think I had something like this. I mean, it was pretty smooth for me. But usually for the hate comments, people, how one of my professors says, people have a problem. So they try to, externally to kind of give it to you or maybe some other people and say that, oh, this is so ugly, or, oh, this is like pure hate. When it's pure hate, it means that they are in a bad place. So it's not about you, it's about them. So I don't really get a lot of comments like about hate or nasty comments. I don't know why, but that's good. But the thing is, they usually, if it's really pure hate, it's probably just they have a bad day. So you don't need to start the conversation, just need to stop, or maybe to say, hey, have a good day and bye, whatever. So that will calm them and everything will be fine. So that's about it for the hate. What I wanted to say about the hate. Oops.
Sorry, I don't speak Russian, but there's a speaker and it translates, I think. So my question was, do you have any regrets about your past looks? And if you want to answer them, you don't? Okay, next question. I want to ask, you have a large audience right now and you influence a lot of people. And what's your next step? What you want to do? What's your goal or aim to really achieve and influence people in a good way? So what's your future plans?
I start. As we saw the whole day, it's like we are influencers. We have a community following us. I think we should use this. And for me, it would be creating my own brand, and not depending on other brands. Having my own brand, my own signature, my own style to give to people. You know, to offer to people. If they're gonna pay for it, but I still wanna do something. So yeah, my own brand.
Thank you. Same question in Turkish also. Şu anda sizi takip eden birçok insan var ve onları gerçekten hani her konuda etkileyebiliyorsunuz. Şu anda bu kitleyi arkanızda taşımak nasıl hissettiriyor? İleride ne yapmak istiyorsunuz? Çünkü hani belki yeni planlarınız vardır. Influencer'lığı ya da Instagram'ı, YouTube'u farklı alanlara taşımak istiyorsunuzdur. Yakın gelecekteki planlarınız neler varsa eğer?
Aslında sanırım her influencer ya da blogger'ın hayali bir yerden sonra şey oluyor. Kendi markasını kurmak ya da kendi adını taşıyan bir şeyi piyasaya sürmek ya da kendi beğenilerini aslında başkalarına sunmak oluyor. Ama tabii bu noktada Türkiye'de hala bazı şeylerde biraz geriden hareket ettiğimiz için zorlanıyoruz. Daha şu an sanırım şey noktasındayız. Markalarla yaptığımız işbirliklerinde biraz daha bireysel, biraz daha kişiselleştirilmiş şeylerde. Bu makyaj markalarında işte bir nevi bazı lookların yüzü olmak gibi olabiliyor ya da ürünleri işte belli bir piyasaya çıkartmak şeklinde olabiliyor ama hani yurt dışında baktığımızda hani en önde giden şu an en önde Amerika'daki şeye ulaşmamız şu an birazcık zor ama eminim ki hani her bu işi yapan kişinin hayalinde kendine ait bir alan yaratmak bununla alakalı var diye düşünüyorum. Benim de var ama her şey adım adım. O yüzden böyle bir anda bazı şeylere kapılmak istemiyorum. Her şeyin bir zamanı var. Yani o yüzden belki günün birinde ben de böyle bir şeyler yapabilirim diye düşünüyorum. Şeyda, senin için nasıldır?
Zaten evet çok sürpriz olmadı bence kendi markasını yaratma fikri. Ben bu fikri zaten çok haklı da buluyorum. Çünkü bu kadar insan bizim beğenilerimizi, bizim zevklerimizi beğenerek bize çok fazla sorular soruyor. Yani bizim beğendiğimiz bir ürünü onlar da gidip alıyor. Ve biz de hani bir süreden sonra tabii ki de doğal olarak şöyle bir düşünceye giriyoruz. Yani benim beğendiklerim beğeniliyorsa ben kendimden bir parça olarak hani bunu yaparak, uğraşarak bunu insanlara sunmak istiyorum düşüncesi bizim kafamızda beliriyor. Bu bir yerde aslında takipçilerle sizi böyle birleştiren de bir şey oluyor. Çünkü onlar sanki onu çok kişisel bir şey yarattığınız için sizden bir parça olarak da görüyorlar, çok sahiplenebiliyorlar. Tabii buradaki ince çizgiyi çok iyi kavramak lazım. Yani ben böyle bir şeye adım attığımda kesinlikle takipçi kitlemi çok iyi analiz ederek yani her türlü açıdan benim takipçi kitlem ne ister, hangi fiyat aralığında olur, nasıl sunulmalıdır bunların hepsini analiz ederek bu şekilde yapmak isterim. Bence çok aşırı zor bir şey. Bu tarz bir marka çıkartmak çok fazla efor isteyen bir şey. Çünkü bir süre sonra bu tarz şeylere dikkat edilmeden çıkarılan, yapılan bu tarz eylemler maalesef hiçbir yere varamıyor. Ben asla böyle bir şey olmasını istemem. O yüzden benim de gelecekteki hayallerimden biri tabii ki de kendi markamı çıkartmak ama bu makyajla mı ilgili olur, giyimle mi ilgili olur ya da hiç tahmin edemeyeceğim bir şeyle mi ilgili olur bunu bilmiyorum. Ama böyle bir şey olduğu zaman kesinlikle ya bunu gerçekten Şeyda yapmış, bu işte Şeyda'nın fikri olan bir ürün diyecekleri bir şey çıkartmak isterim. Benim kesinlikle en büyük kriterim bu. Teşekkürler.
говорить. Так, я хочу повысить качество своих снимков за счет того, что я куплю новую технику и хочу снимать видео для отелей и в красивых местах. Очень качественное видео. Переводят? Я хочу в Америку. Я хочу пофотографироваться с очень классными фотографами. В первую очередь я модель, в первую очередь я не блогер. Я очень сильно люблю жить, а мне кажется, блогеры уделяют очень много времени Инстаграм. Я просто люблю жить, я просто модель, я просто люблю фотографироваться. Какие еще планы? Планы. Мы хотим сыграть свадьбу. Я запускаю в процессе, я запускаю свою линию одежды, платьев. В Америке также я хочу показать очень красивые и необычные места людям. Я хочу показать себя людям в другом образе, в непривычном для них. Все, спасибо.
Thank you for your answers. How would you describe your style? For example, is there any days you feel like you don't know what to wear, or maybe you don't know if you do makeup or no makeup, or what to use, which product to use, and even being an influencer, being a fashion or beauty influencer, even do you say yourself, I don't have anything to wear? Do you have that kind of confusion also?
It used to be a big issue for me because I thought I didn't have any style, so I was looking for a style. And I think at the end, it's maybe the best thing I had, like, it's not to have a style, because then you get interested in anything. I could have different style, like sometimes a hip-hop something, or sometimes like a dark shoes, or you know what I mean? Like, I think the best is to mix and to make your own style. I'm really into this own self because there are so many of us now. As they said before, it's a trend now to be an influencer. It's a trend. Would you want to be an influencer? Because for them, everything is free. You earn a lot of money, and it's not really true. But yeah, I think it's the best is to be yourself, and that's what people like, actually.
And I agree with Shirin. And that's it. The best is to be yourself. I mean, and try to mix styles. I mean, if you feel like today you want to wear something, wear that. If you feel like tomorrow you want to wear something totally different, wear that. And create your own kind of style, your own thing. And people will be inspired by you to be themselves. So that's great.
Sorry, I'm just going to add something. I think it's more about, like, today they love a personality. They don't love a brand, they don't love a style, they just love a personality and everything that goes with it.
And what is your favorite social media channel right now, and why? Do you feel more comfortable in that channel, or do you find it more fun? And what do you think about the fast changing of the social channels policies? And do you think that in the near future we are gonna still use Instagram or YouTube, or it's gonna change in the meantime?
I really love right now Instagram, but still my main thing is YouTube. So I have more work on YouTube, I do more videos on YouTube, but I love taking pictures, and I love, you know, the visual aspect of it. You see exactly, you know, maybe that beautiful, just, I don't know, outfit, or just a beautiful country, something important in that country. So the visualizing aspect of it, it's really important for me. But still, YouTube is the main thing. And I think YouTube right now is still a better platform than Instagram in terms of sponsorships and how much money you can make on YouTube, exactly. But YouTube is changing all the time, especially after they changed the analytics a couple of years ago, and now they're implementing premium service. So I don't know exactly where this will go, but if it will not be free or you should pay, for like a membership and stuff like this, it will probably go down because people, don't want to pay for seeing, other influencers, or maybe sometimes, but not like old people. So that's it.
Yeah, I think she's right. We are kind of victim of the trends. For example, there's also this problem with Instagram, with the algorithm. Like I lost like 50% of everything, of my likes, of my comments, of everything. Like it does not depend on me. Like I'm doing exactly the same thing. I'm trying to be better actually, but the numbers are just going down. It's really awful. And yeah.
Активность в Инстаграме, правда, падает. Когда-то было 100 тысяч лайков, сейчас 30-20 тысяч. И я тоже задумываюсь о YouTube-канале. В скором времени, когда мы купим технику и начнем снимать качественное видео, будем учиться. Спасибо.
For me, it's always been Instagram because, it's so instant. You can take a picture, like edit in 2 seconds and post it online. About YouTube, it takes lots of time. Like, I know it's for you, it's the main thing, but I'm an impatient person. Like, I need to be just so quick. So it's always been the Instagram, I guess. Like, you can scroll everything, see everything so quickly. So that's why.
Yeah, that's true. People don't realize what YouTube means. A lot of work, you can imagine. It's also like financially huge, like you need to buy cameras, you need to buy lights, you need to buy microphone, and you spend so much time, like even like for a tutorial, when you see it, it's like 5 minutes, and it's sometimes 2 days of how do you say, editing and re-editing, sometimes remaking, introduction, close, conclusion, and it's so long, and people just are like, yeah, YouTube, you just make you film yourself and that's it. It's not that at all. It's a real job. Like, it takes a lot of time. And also Instagram, actually, when you want to do like sometimes the real settings and so, it takes a lot of time.
Instagram is also better here because people nowadays don't have a lot of time. So they just scroll down, see the image, like it, bye. With YouTube, it's different. Even the makeup tutorials, you really should do something really innovative right now, or maybe post more personal videos. Like the girl said, the previous speaker, she was saying that, it should be a very emotionally driven kind of content, so people will watch it. Otherwise, they will watch like a couple of seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes maximum, and then we'll go to another video. So, yeah.
Actually, I finished my questions, and it was a pleasure for me to be here, to be part of this event. And I want to thank my friends that they answered all the questions sincerely. So this is the finish of our panel. Thanks for attending.
Thank you, Özgür. I think that beauty will save the world. Dostoevsky also told that, and I believe it. But startup, investor money also is important. So our next discussion panel is the startup and investor panel. Alper Çelen, moderator. Roland Deher, Gözde Demir, Mehmet Kerim, and Fuat Kerimov.
About money, investing, and we'll keep it short and try to keep it entertaining, okay? I think we're the last one, so.
You want to be here? Yeah, we're sitting. No, it's
Have you seen it? Let's line up according to... Where's Mohammed? Mohammed is not here? Where's Mohammed? Is Mohammed here? Mohammed Karim? I haven't seen him all day. Okay, we're not going to make people wait. Let's get started. A lot of you are entrepreneurs. Even if you're influencers, you are entrepreneurs. There are some others of you that are part of the startup ecosystem here in Azerbaijan or elsewhere. Some of you are visiting. We just want to finish the day with a discussion about investments. So we come from actually 4 different parts of the ecosystem, startup ecosystem, and from 3 different regions in the world. I live in Dubai. I'm Turkish American, but I live in Dubai. Some of you may have seen me talk before. Then maybe the best thing to do is have each panelist give a brief introduction about themselves. Then I have a few quick questions. I want to start a fight. I told them I wanted them to disagree with each other, right? I want to have some fight here so that you guys wake up and it's the end of the day. So we have a bit of entertainment before we call the day, okay? So, Roland?
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Roland Daher. I also come from Dubai. I am the Chief Operating Officer of Astro Labs. It's a co-working space, a tech hub, and a digital academy in Dubai.
And Roland's first time in Azerbaijan. So, also Gözde's first time in Azerbaijan.
Hi, my name is Gözde Demir. I am from, actually, I'm many things, but here I am a venture capitalist investing in technology companies. I'm part of 212 Capital out of Istanbul. We are currently in our 2nd fund. Our first fund was, am I actually doing the whole introduction? Our first fund was $30 million out of Turkey in 2012. And now we are launching our 2nd fund with the same amount. So we have been investing in Turkey since 2012. And I am also a free advisor for the startups at the moment. So that's part of being a VC. Thank you.
And just lightning round. Who are you? Where do you live? What do you do?
Hello. Yeah. My name is Mehmet. I'm investing in Azerbaijan for almost 5 years, mostly in seed stage startups. Briefly.
Hello, everyone. Great to be here. My name is Fuat. I currently work as a board member in Gilan Holding. We proudly sponsor this event, so great to be here with you. I'm also a teacher at Ada University Graduate School, and currently a PhD candidate I'm working my doctorate. So, yeah, most of my life I was in finance. Unlike, I think many of us were there, at least if you're in investment field. I already made a decision. I think beauty panel was much more popular. There were way more people, so probably we should switch our careers to beauty and fashion.
This panel is the cash panel. So, look, so I just want to say, everybody's coming from very different backgrounds. Angel investor, founder, Roland has extensive history in startups, but right now he's running the most successful, I would say, the co-working space in Middle East based out of Dubai. We have a venture capitalist that goes there. We have another one, but that's local, Mehmet. And with Fuad, we have one of the largest holding companies based here in Azerbaijan with Gilan Holding. So you could be doing, with your backgrounds, many things anywhere in the world, right? Many of you have lived in many different countries, etc. Why do you do, again, 1 minute lightning round, go.
Okay, the boring version is that I'm a Lebanese citizen and I didn't have too much choices. But the interesting version is that doing what I do in Dubai allows me to create much bigger impact than I would have been able to do, say, in Europe or in the States. We started, and we were saying today we were among the generation one of the entrepreneurship ecosystem. We started at the very beginning of everything, and we had the opportunity to play an active role into supporting the first generation of entrepreneurs, making a change with them, and building the ecosystem, which also here reminds me a little bit of how Dubai was a few years ago. So amazing opportunity for impact in places like that.
I actually have been on both sides of the table. I have been an entrepreneur, I have been an investor, I have been a consul. So I have really been on each side of the table and so many times. But when I was an entrepreneur, I just really wanted to meet with the investors. And now that I'm an investor, I want to meet with entrepreneurs and spend time with them because I really believe, I used to be in New York and I actually started in Wall Street in my career. And the only reason I actually came back to Turkey was to give back to my community what I have received. So the experience for me back in Turkey, now we are actually expanding to the region just so we can meet with other startups and technologies in this region and create impact where we grew up and where we can touch. So it's an amazing experience to be with young people, to deal with technology, which is the next thing in every industry, and actually be able to help them go global. Thank you.
I mean, before joining to these VC things, I mean, to investing in startups, I mainly was working for telecom, and we were making lots of cash, actually, and everything was fine. But at some point, I saw that we are like starting to lose the momentum. So these internet companies like were coming and taking some part of the cake. So I was thinking it's good to be on that side, so this in the internet projects and in the startup side. But it was two options to become entrepreneur or to invest in startups. So I chose the second one. It was more, how to say, it was more challenging for me to be in investment side. And the first 3 years of mine was also like discovery period for me in order to establish my investment thesis. I remember you were with us on that period. We were like chaotic investors. We were investing in everything with no strategy. But nowadays it is more like more defined. Yeah. So that was the moment that I switched to this sector, that telecom was like becoming commodity, and I decided I have to be in the other part.
Well, I think in one word, what I would be doing, what I'm doing is probably learning. That's what I'm doing constantly, even here today from you guys, from the audience and previous speakers, because you know, I have. Most of my experience, as I say, it was mostly in the corporate finance, on capital markets, helping companies to go public. But there is a big niche which is probably underserved, and in helping them to raise the funds, especially on a startup field. And Azerbaijan has a great opportunity here because we're still developing and comparing to more efficient market like US capital markets. So I think that's what I'm doing here, but we wish we could do more. Well, we hope that this kind of events will spark this and help to attract beautiful minds, investors, and so on. So this is why we're here.
Only 2 more questions, right? Then I'm going to ask all the panelists to meet with you outside if you have specific questions to them. You want to go like raise money from them, make pitches to them. So they're going to be available, okay? 2 questions. First one. There are 3 ecosystems here. The most advanced one, arguably, is Turkey. where Gözde comes from. And then comes, I think, the Dubai and the Middle East, and you know, maybe Azerbaijan is just now picking up steam. Gözde, with what you've seen from the US ecosystem and then Turkey, what is one recommendation you would have to Azerbaijan as like maybe a mistake or a reason to slow down the growth of the ecosystem that they could maybe avoid? If you had like a magic wand, what is the one thing that you would give them as advice? It's going to go to you next. So.
I hope there's no press. I would actually say the standard of living here. You know, I think people should be a little more motivated to innovate. I feel like many people... It is definitely beautiful, but I really think that why do we innovate actually usually comes from desperation. And if people are too comfortable, and we see this a lot more in the GCC countries, especially in Dubai, people are so comfortable that they don't want to do the hustling of a startup. So for Azerbaijan, it might be the same, where you have nice public jobs. And we actually had a lot of people working for a company here. And that comfort, and I started my career in Goldman Sachs, so I understand the comfort, but that comfort oftentimes actually holds us back from being an entrepreneur and actually doing something and trying out something that is very risky, and we are the riskiest. But at the end, it's an amazing reward. So I do encourage anyone who's just afraid of the hustle but have an amazing idea and think that they can do it, they should actually give it a try.
She stole part of my answer. So I'll build on it. Definitely that. I mean, the question of talent, and when young people go to study, what do they aspire for and what do they want to become? I think this is where it all starts. We can talk about top-down policies till tomorrow, but then there's a lot that happens from the bottom up. So people becoming more driven, more thirsty to join startups or work as startups or educate themselves in fields that till now were not so popular. That's mandatory. And second, also super practical, is don't be intimidated with the status quo. I'm sure anyone in the room can list 10 to 20 reasons why it's hard to become. Don't let that intimidate you. Take that first step. Don't try to be the next Dubai or the next Turkey or the next Silicon Valley, just like one of the more good-looking panelists before said. Just be yourself. Every ecosystem has to be itself. And then you will figure out what is the value proposition and what's the unique elements that you have, whether your location, whether your talent, whatever you can do to surrounding markets and build on it.
Mehmet, and so for the two of you, I'm going to switch the question around a bit because you are from here, right? Let's go to Mehmet first. So, Mehmet, you're one of the early warriors, right? We met almost 5 years ago, right? And you were just getting started on, making these investments. And I know, brother, it's not easy, right? And in an early stage ecosystem. If I switch the question around, what is the one thing that you would like to, change that would make your life easier and the chance of success for your investments here to succeed better?
So, as you mentioned, we started, we are the early guys that went to this business. We were doing almost everything. So events, I don't know, education, investment, everything, accelerating startups. So it was very chaotic, actually, periods for us. And we decided to have more strategic view on our activities, to be more specialized on, let's say, only in investment. Even on investment side, we decided to be only in seed stage. So I think startups also should have their strategies. I talk to startups, to 200 startups each year in Azerbaijan, around 200 startups. And most of them don't have any strategy. I don't want to see these roadmaps, I don't know, these cash flow structures. I mean, at least 2-3 years, their vision, you know. So their exit strategy, who will be the first, this critical mass and so on. I want to see this strategic thinking on startup founders when they are pitching to us. This is for startups, but from investment perspective, we have, if we have a lack of startups who challenge us, so we don't see any super startups that challenging us. So they are coming and pitching always on the same mode. So we are asking the same questions. What happens at the end? So we are not, ourselves are not like, we are not improving. I mean, as a VCs, as investors. So we always ask the same question, they respond the same questions, respond. So when we have super qualitative startups with their strategies, they can be challenging for us as well. So we are going back and doing some due diligences, or maybe checking internet, what is the trend there, and so on. That's the main issue that currently we have as a headache, I would say.
Fuad, for you, you come from a different angle, right? From a holding company that has a lot of resources, well known in the, in the country. What would it take for you guys to play a major role in the startup ecosystem and start making bets? Because you were the CFO once, and now you're on the board. CFOs say no. That's their job. They say no most of the time, right? Now on the board, you're probably coming up with ideas for the CFO to say no to. Why not create a micro fund to invest in startups? What would it take for you to do that?
Well, first of all, I want to comment. Mehmet, you said 200 companies a year. That's already impressive, I think. That already deserves, I think, a round of applause. Why I'd like to emphasize that fact is because, I mean, honestly, the probability of success is pretty much low. And that's not Azerbaijan trend, it's a global trend. And we've shown it's like, in previous one of the great presentation too, is like 90% does not go as we want. And we put, obviously, effort, time, hopes, and funds. Well, why we can say that the funds always seek for investments, but the CFO typically, or any finance not a risk-averse person, would try to make sure that money come back, and obviously that's a risky bet. And on a scale of, depends on the scale, obviously some investments start with a 10K, and as they progress, it may require more funds, more time, and the time what we don't have always. So I guess you have to, I mean, you have to understand the product. That's what's the problem. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors, he says that when they invested into like private jets, he said, I used to fly with them, I understand the product, and I said like, well, now I feel what it is, and unless I know the service, what value it creates to myself, I might stay reluctant to invest. So for us, maybe it's a bigger awareness. That's what we would like to have before we kind of make that step. I already feel here that's opposite comments coming.
Or ask questions, go.
Please.
Why don't you start investing in the industry that is so close to you and that you understand perfectly, and where you can do a 10x any startup you invest in?
Because, well, close to you and understanding, not necessarily the same thing. I'm talking about the understanding the product, because you have to believe in the idea. And coming back to the previous question, that comparing what does Azerbaijan might need in order to make that an extra step to develop. You know, earlier today I heard that it was a Bill Gates saying that people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And that's what I want us to focus on a long-term, long run, because any startups proves to be successful on a long run, and it might have failures in the beginning, not just on engineering side, but on the fundraising side, on the other side. But over time, it may be a success story. So what we need is belief into that we can change over years, not immediately, and have a success stories broadcasted so that if they made it, we can make it. Let's just focus on the positive side.
Last question. So I think the previous panel, was it Melody that said many influencers' dream is to one day, grow your followership enough and have your own brand, right? Let's imagine a scenario. Are there influencers here? Any influencers that want to do that here one day? Raise your hand. No? None? Oh, okay, great. You have keep face. So there you are, right? Is it Shireen? Okay, hi. Okay, so Shireen has, I looked, 1.2 million followers, 1.1? 1 million followers. Okay, good. So she has 1 million followers, right? Let's say that's enough. It could be 10, but 1 million, right? Very respectable, right? Great job. So she comes to you. You're an angel investor, or you're an institutional investor, or you're a corporate investor, and she wants to build this brand. Now, she probably needs more resources, more funding than she may currently have herself, or through her family and friends. What would you tell her to do in 1 week as like 3 top things to become more ready to come and pitch to you? In 1 week, like short amount of time, there she is, quite presentable. She knows what she's doing. She's, talking. She's grown the space, right? Amazing photography. What does she have to do in 1 week? The 3 things, so that her pitch to you after the end of the week would be very credible, and you'd be like, man, if I were in this space, I'd put in some money. Go ahead, goes there. The fashionista among us, I think, clearly,
Definitely not, but sorry to put you in the spotlight as well. But, well, I would actually say the same thing that I tell any startup that comes to me with a great idea. I always say, okay, ideas are great, but many people have them. What makes an entrepreneur is the people actually do them. So Shireen, in this scenario, needs to show me numbers. Actually, that is, I have to see that other people see the same value that I see, and she sees. So we are in the same boat, but we need to have a customer that also feels the same way. That's essentially how the startups. So somebody has to pay her, and in a week, if she finds 3 customers that actually pay, even 1 customer that is big, or 3 small ones, or 5 that are really small, that is a number, and that is fine by me. But I would want to see that, because if not, 1 week is a very short time for Shireen. Let's be fair to her, but more ready, yes. And I'm assuming she already has clients on her database that she works with. So we are looking at numbers, but we are actually looking for other people to accredit what startups are doing in general. So it goes for the influencers as well.
Okay, so assuming we're talking about like a real product, that's how I understood. If let's say she wants.
It'd be a fashion brand, right? Would it be
makeup? Yeah.
Okay, makeup brand. Okay.
That was my understanding. Yours, your brand. Okay. So what I would do is 3 things. 1, don't reinvent the wheel yourself. Definitely not look into like building the entire value chain, and identify who are the partners. Could be other startups, could be like small players in other markets that you can bring together under one new umbrella and then make it happen. That's 1. Second, as much validation as possible that you can convert that followership into actual transactions. Could be done super easily, just like some Facebook pages where you call to action people to pre-subscribe or pre-buy your products and show that, you know, in like 24 hours, you've got so many people putting their card details. You've got these two. The one thing they shouldn't worry about in your case is distribution, because you've got the marketing. The actual distribution today can be easy. Also, you don't need to reinvent it yourself. You can have a good 2 years of outsourcing it to a third party, and you're good to go to these guys. Let me know how it goes.
In my case, I guess I will ask for some referrals. In most cases, we ask for referrals. I mean, it can be a customer, it can be maybe a previous investor or professor from some academy. It depends. But we evaluate the referrals as well. The second one is, of course, the numbers. Numbers are selling, actually, in most cases. Third one can be maybe their growth strategy or their, I don't know, maybe exit scenarios and so on. So more practical things. We are not so deep to the product.
Well, hard to comment. Well, I think a lot have been said, relevant. I think, well, metrics and numbers matter, and we started with the fact that it's over the 1 million followers. It's always important also to see the relevance of the audience to the particular product. I mean, for me, it's hard to comment on a makeup, obviously. Don't know much about the market, but they see the statistics of the groups, which are actually followers, like what are the do they actually represent the particular market niche that could have been addressed by this particular product, by this particular campaign, and so on. So it's good that we can measure that, and finally we're at the stage that certain positioning of the product can be measured in posts, in likes, in followers, and other things. But that's it's on an very aggregated level. Sometimes for us to better understand whether we are ready to invest is to see the segmentation of that audience.
I will just add my little point. I'd like to see a partner. It has nothing to do with you specifically, because we've been picking on you, but I'm quite skeptical about any business that's started by and run by one person. So I would want to have a co-founder in there sharing the load. It's a very tough journey. There are many nights, that are just too long. You don't want to wake up in the morning. It's not all fun and games, and we get on stage and make presentations like this. It's often than not a very tough journey. And if you don't have someone to lean on that actually has equity in the business, it can be quite, it would be bad for the business. It's bad economics, I believe. So single founder startups is a big red flag for me. So in her case, she can continue with the creative work. She can still be the genius behind growing those numbers of followers, but she needs some help on the business side, right? She needs some help on manufacturing, getting those deals right with the manufacturing partner that she would have, etc. Someone who's going to go cut those deals with the brands that maybe partner with them. So I'd like to see that. Okay, good. Are we the last one? Are we the last panel? Are we done? Because if that is the case, I'm going to ask the panelists to go out there and just hang out and come and talk to us if you want to. If you want to pick our brain, we're happy to do that. Even if they're not happy to do that, I'm putting them on the spot, so they'll just at least sit there for 10 minutes. Okay? Thank you very much for listening to us. Thanks, John.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And we'll have a small break. Then we will continue with influencer award ceremony, and it's very important and very exciting. So after a small break, we will continue. Thank you.